Do you want to become a huge player in your industry? Do you want to be the go-to expert everyone calls when they have a problem or needs a product or service? Do you want to become famous in your market? I'm going to show you how to do that using LinkedIn today on this episode of the Do This Sell More Show. Hi, my name is Dave Lorenzo. This is the Do This Sell More Show. Today we're talking about dominating your industry or your target industry on LinkedIn. Now let me explain what that means. If you're focused on growing your business, one of the fastest ways you can grow your business is by selecting an industry segment and choosing to be the expert for whatever it is you sell in that industry segment. And LinkedIn is the perfect place to do that because LinkedIn allows you to target your audience. Let's talk about ways that you can blow the doors off your industry, become the renowned expert for what it is you do to the industry that you're targeting. I will show you how to do that today on this episode of the Do This Sell More Show. All right, let's first talk about why I'm mentioning specific industries. When I first started my business, I dominated in helping lawyers grow their businesses. Since then, I've expanded to help everybody use relationship-based business development to grow their businesses. But when I first started my business, I wanted to be the number one player in helping attorneys make more money and get home on time for dinner every night. So I set out to become that expert. And when I focused on delivering content to people on LinkedIn, I focused specifically on attorneys. Why should you pick an industry niche? Make no mistake, I don't think you need to be exclusive to one industry like I was, but you should segment your marketing, segment the content you create for specific industries, and then deliver that content to those people in those industries on LinkedIn. And the reason you should do that is because it helps you grow your business faster. How does an industry focus help you grow your business faster? I'll give you 3 reasons. Number 1, you speak their language. If you go target a specific industry, you'll know what the jargon is. You'll know what their concerns are. You'll know what's keeping them up at night. You'll know what they're saying to each other around the boardroom table. More importantly, you'll know what they say to their family or their spouse around the kitchen table. And this focus, speaking their language, getting inside their heads, entering their thought process is critical because the way you write, the way you produce videos, the way you produce audio content will be focused on them. You can do this industry by industry. So create specific videos for each industry and then we'll use LinkedIn for distribution. Create specific audio programs for each industry, use LinkedIn for distribution. That's the main reason I want you to focus on industries. The second reason to focus on industries, it doesn't take long to become dominant. If you speak at a lot of industry conventions, specific industry-oriented conventions, if you're on LinkedIn, distributing your content, delivering value to people who are in that industry. If you're publishing papers on LinkedIn and everywhere else, people will see your work. They'll think you're everywhere in that industry. You'll become an expert inside of 6 months, definitely inside of a year. The third reason to pick an industry focus is because you can target specific individuals with ease. If everybody's your client, you have no clients. If you focus on who you want to be your client and then you go after them relentlessly, ruthlessly, as long as it's legal, moral, and ethical, you will dominate in a very short period of time. So it allows you a narrow focus. All right, let's talk about the opportunity that LinkedIn offers you to dominate your industry. The first opportunity LinkedIn offers you is that you can share the value that you create through articles. I want you writing and publishing an article to a specific industry that you're targeting each week on LinkedIn. That article will soon get shared by other people as your distribution list grows, as people become more and more interested. But every week, write an article that delivers value to people in the industry you're targeting. And that's the key thing. Everything on LinkedIn must be focused on other people. I don't want to see you posting pictures of yourself winning awards. You shouldn't do that. If you want an award, let somebody else write an article about you, post it on their LinkedIn page, and then they can share it with you, and you can share it with your audience. That's fine. But I don't want you writing about yourself. I don't want you talking about yourself. I want you posting articles of value to other people on LinkedIn as often as you can. Once a week is the minimum. Once a day is the gold standard. Give me a great article that helps me grow my business, and I'm going to look for it every day. You'll start out with a very narrow distribution because everything on LinkedIn is a narrow distribution unless you're paying for it to be distributed. But as you become more well-known, more and more people will be seeking your articles out. More and more people will be sharing your articles. The distribution will naturally and organically grow. The second thing I want you to do, I want you to go out and interview industry leaders in a podcast. You should be doing a podcast once a week. Go out and interview industry leaders. Go out and interview the people who are tops in your field or in the field that you're targeting, and post the audio of those interviews on LinkedIn. People love to listen to podcasts. They love to gain additional industry information. You should be out there doing this, interviewing those industry leaders once a week. The third thing I want you to do is I want you to connect with industry leaders after you have a conversation with them. What does that mean? That means that you go to a convention and you talk to an industry leader, you take their business card, you send them an email and say, I enjoyed speaking with you live. I'd like to connect with you on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an area for you to grow your relationships, but I don't want you connecting with people you haven't met in person. Here's the reason why. If you haven't met them in person, they're not going to know you. And when you connect with them on LinkedIn, they may accept the connection, but if you tried to call them, they wouldn't accept your call. Why is that bad? Somebody goes into your connections, they see you're connected to that person, they ask for an introduction, you can't do it. What does that do to your credibility? It blows it completely. Connect with people in real life first, LinkedIn second. Finally, the final way to grow your dominance on LinkedIn within an industry niche is to do videos. You can do videos and post them on YouTube. That's fantastic. And then take the YouTube link and share it on LinkedIn. That's great. You should do that. But what I'm talking about is making a video less than 10 minutes in length and posting it on LinkedIn natively. Upload it directly to LinkedIn. Here's the thing. Videos that are uploaded directly to LinkedIn are more likely to get wider distribution than YouTube videos. Why? LinkedIn wants to keep people on their network. They don't want them going off to YouTube. They don't want them clicking a link and going off the site. They'd love to have your video on LinkedIn so that people watch your video and stay on LinkedIn afterwards. It's common sense. So those are the 4 ways to grow and dominate in any industry. Use LinkedIn for these purposes. And remember, always deliver value first on LinkedIn. I don't want to see selfies of you on LinkedIn. If you want to do a selfie with a client, and this is a bonus tip, do a selfie with a client, but write a profile of that client. Tell people why that client is a great business owner, why that client is dominant in their industry. Write up a profile of how people can reach them, where they can find their products or services. That's fantastic. I want you to dominate your industry or your target industry on LinkedIn. Use these 4 tips. And remember, when you use these 4 tips, if you do this, you will sell more.